A doctor was working at a hospital where the patients were tagged with colored bands. Green, alive. Red, deceased. One night, the doctor was instructed to get a few supplies from the basement of the hospital, and so he headed to the lift. The lift doors opened and there was a patient inside, minding her own business. Patients were allowed to roam around the hospital to stretch, especially those who have stayed long. The rule was to be back in their rooms before 10. The doctor smiled at the patient before pressing the number for the basement. He found it unusual that the woman didn't have a button already pressed. He wondered if she was heading to the basement too. The lift finally reached the floor where the doors opened. In the distance a man was limping towards the elevator, and in a panic the doctor slammed the elevator button to close. It finally did and the lift began to ascend back up, the doctor's heart pounding. "Why did you do that?" "He was trying to use the lift." The woman stated, annoyed. "Did you see his wrist?" The doctor asked. "It was red." "He died last night." "I would know because I did his surgery." Like, comment and subscribe, share with friends and family. The unforgiving sea had claimed yet another victim. As Detective Emma Lane crested the rocky shore overlooking Deadman's Reef, salty spray stung her eyes and she squinted against the late afternoon sun glinting off turbulent waves. Below, the jagged teeth of Reef rose treacherously from the surf like broken bones jutting through weathered skin. A small crowd had gathered, onlookers drawn to the grim spectacle. Unfurling crime scene tape, Emma surveyed the grim tableau. Paramedics crouched over a mangled form half-submerged in churning foam. Emma steeled herself and climbed down for a closer look, boots slipping on slick stone. The body was male, torn wetsuit exposing raw flesh peeled back from broken limbs. Gaping wounds bore teeth marks, as if some great beast had mauled its prey. Yet the autopsy would reveal another layer of horror, multiple ribs splintered inward, puncturing vital organs. Blast injuries, the coroner suspected, from a massive uncontrolled burst of rising air. But what had caused such a grotesque, impossible death? "Divers call it the silent killer," muttered Max, the veteran boat captain who had discovered the remains. Weathered features hid anything but stoic professionalism, though rumors painted a superstitious streak beneath his placid exterior. The Reef plays dirty tricks on anyone who doesn't respect her. Emma turned the conversation to facts. "Tell me exactly what you saw, Max." As the captain recounted discovering the driftwood-turned corpse tangled in kelp, Emma noted a subtle wariness in weathered eyes, as if the older man knew more than he spoke. Still, his story aligned with evidence. The body had been swept ashore by strong afternoon currents, deposited like so much flotsam. Yet something didn't add up. Despite Max's theory of a diving mishap, the medical examiner found no sign of decompression sickness or equipment malfunction. Nor did recent tide patterns support the corpse surfacing from an accidental death days prior. No, these wounds were fresh, inflicted post-mortem by the Reef's cruel embrace. Someone, or something, was actively covering its tracks. But why? And what fate befell the man before death? Troubling questions lingered as unanswered as the restless wind whistling through weathered stone. Only fragments of an identification remained in shredded pockets. Driver's license of Adrian Jones, age 43, visiting from Tampa. Seeking adventure, the tourist had ventured to Deadman's alone, never to return. As night fell, Emma followed her police cruiser's headlamps along twisting coastal roads, miles of cliffs and treacherous drop-offs, her lone witnesses. Already 4 people had vanished from this cursed place in as many months. Her superiors dismissed the cases as vanishingly rare individual accidents or, worse, suicides given Rockport's chronic unemployment since the fishing industry's collapse. Yet a sixth sense stirred in Emma's gut, inherited from her police bloodline stretching back generations in this tiny, isolated town. Something didn't add up. As the shadows lengthened, so too did her list of doubts and questions without answers. Pulling into the driveway of her darkening home, she wondered if dawn would bring fresh clues, or new victims for this seaside killing ground.